Hey guys, welcome back to another video of me talking about my opinion. I have the right to talk about my opinion just as you guys have the right not to listen to me. It doesn't matter. Women are sick and tired of being afraid of men. Period. Right now, women all across the UK are protesting and talking about women's safety and all women's safety. Male violence is something physically and verbally that has affected up to 97% of women. But what I want to talk about is what all women are doing to make sure that women of colour are included in this movement. What are all women doing to protect queer and trans women of colour? That's what I want to talk about. It's all well and good saying that all women are affected by what men do, but what have you done to show up and protect the other women? Saying all women because it proves your point is not actually protecting all women. Are you actually talking and thinking about women that aren't able-bodied, straight, white, cisgendered women? When you're speaking on subjects like this, you're speaking on how you relate to that topic. So when white women are talking about feminism or women, they're talking about themselves because that's how they empathize with the subject. It represents you and your experience. Are you considering those that don't have your privileges? And that doesn't just mean white women. Mixed or lighter skinned women, are you extending a hand to darker skinned women? Black women, are you extending a hand to queer and trans women? Privilege works in steps. There's always somebody that's higher than somebody else. Does your feminism extend to immigrant women? Because I'm sick and tired of hearing the lazy immigrant trope from a race that actually enslaved a whole nother race to do work that they didn't want to do. It's so exhausting watching white people several days of protesting incite actual conversations about police brutality. When a black woman dies at the hands of this violence, nobody does this. Nobody protests, nobody cares about that injustice apart from black people. They're not outraged by black deaths, but black women have to be outraged for and about white women for white women to even consider them. It's so hard to participate in feminism when feminist women and popular icons don't represent you, and in some cases actually advocate for policies that further oppress you. When ethnic minorities speak about feminism, it's always going to include white women because you're above them. The only way it wouldn't include white women is because white women already have that right. Equity and equality are not the same thing. Misogyny does not affect white women the same way it affects women of colour. Now, this isn't me bashing what women are doing for women right now. This is me telling you that you need to make sure that what you are doing is actually protecting all women. If what you're putting out to the world with your voice is not also speaking on women of colour's rights, including queer and trans rights, you're not speaking on behalf of all women. Period. And I'm not even factoring in classism, but that's a whole different topic for a different day. Outside of this movement, were you speaking up for women of colour and queer women of colour? If you are now, will you continue? You can't drop in and out of these things. At the end of the day, straight, white, cisgendered women are working to be equal, while women of colour and queer women of colour are still working to gain basic human rights. Often in white feminism, every other woman gets left out. Women of colour have a complete different history to white women with feminism. I'm sure you know that white women got the right to vote in the UK in 1918, but did you know only 2/3 of women actually fitted that criteria? Now, young women, working class women and women of colour didn't actually get the right to vote until 10 years later in 1928. The big historic moments of liberation for women were actually not victories for everybody. I had no idea that women of colour didn't actually get the right to vote in 1918 like the majority. Nobody actually told me that. I found that out when I did my dissertation on women's liberation and realised that it was two complete different histories. I mean, it wasn't shocking news, but I didn't actually know, you know? Black women completely identify with the issues being raised here, but white women get to turn a blind eye because they don't identify with racism. If you're mad or uncomfortable with anything that I've said in this video, I really hope that you can tackle that and overcome that because you need to. Don't be a colorblind society not recognizing the struggles of other people. Recognize why they are struggling, who is putting them in that position, what system are you upholding? Are you still oppressing certain women by just not even considering certain women in the situation where we are fighting to protect all women and their safety? You can't follow blindly. You need to look where you're going. And if the way you're going is not diverse, then you need to turn around and go a different way. Remember how loud your voice is as a white woman. Remember what your voice can do as a white woman. This video is purely in the interest of protecting all women. Thank you guys for watching my video today. Make sure that if you did like it, subscribe and turn on the notifications so you know when my next videos are coming out. Make sure you give the video a like if you did like it, and if you didn't, you can dislike it. It doesn't matter.